All right. Good Tuesday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic Tuesday. I am your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your Tuesday evening going into your future. Now, obviously, you can see by the screen right now, we are going to talk about severe weather today that we have for especially tomorrow, and obviously the continued heat that will continue. That's the headlines, pretty much not only for South Carolina, but throughout the entire United States of America. So, obviously, that's pretty much what all meteorologists, all weather enthusiasts, pretty much everyone will be talking about. Also, excessive rainfall as well, but not really too much of an excessive rainfall threat for us. But pretty much that's what's going on throughout the U.S. But let's first off start off by saying, if you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, make sure you go and do so. Also, make sure you go and hit the share button. Share it with all of the people that you know. We've had 10 people tune in so far and only 6 likes. So 4 people have tuned in and have not hit the like button at all. So make sure that you go on and do so. But let's go on now and talk with the recorded audience for the people who can unfortunately not make it tonight. As my radar was not open, but it's open now, so we are good to go. Make sure you also go in and leave a comment inside of the live chat right now so I can read it. Good Tuesday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully everyone has had a fantastic Tuesday. I am your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your Tuesday evening going into your future. Now, going on to look at the radar right now, obviously nothing going on for the entire state of South Carolina. But if we go on and scroll our way up, you can see that we do have some rainfall going on towards places like Illinois, Wisconsin, as well as Iowa, Indiana, over there near Cleveland, Ohio, and other places of Ohio as well, where they just had a 50-mile-per-hour wind gust report up there. Michigan, going up into New York, Vermont, going into Nebraska, Colorado, New Mexico, and pretty much all throughout all of the western states as well. Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, Florida, Arkansas. So pretty much a lot of those areas are still receiving some rainfall right now, and rather it be severe weather or rather just be just rain. We still have some stuff going on through here. Let's go on and talk about our watches, warnings, advisories, and stuff like that, because I do want to go on and show that. We have heat advisories out for the entire state of South Carolina except for the low country of South Carolina. So from Spartanburg to Anderson to Greenwood to Columbia to Warrensburg, Barnwell, Aiken, Camden, Darlington, Florence, Myrtle Beach, Conway, Loris, Georgetown, all these places still have a heat advisory because the National Weather Service at Columbia, Greenville, Spartanburg, and Wilmington decided that they were going to keep their heat advisories out because their criteria is a lot more stricter than it is down there for like National Weather Service at Charleston. For go down there, places like Charleston, Somerville, Moncks Corner, Walterboro, Beaufort, Hilton Head, and Allendale. Those places are currently not under heat advisory because the National Weather Service at Charleston is more lenient to when it comes to heat advisories. So I guess they expect that this area is more used to the high humidity and is more used to just the high temperatures in general more than the Midlands, the Upstate, and the PE region is, which is why they set their criteria so high, and it's just more lenient than the other areas throughout the state. So that's the reason why there's no heat advisory out for this area, but everyone else does have a heat advisory that continues through tonight. And again, that's mainly for those high humidities and just those just those low temperatures tonight. I mean, we might have low temperatures tonight, which we'll talk about low temperatures in just a second, but in the mid to high 70s. So definitely, it's still going to be warm tonight, and that's why they're saying there's going to be little relief. If we go into our cloud cover, you can see that we do have some cloud cover going on towards from Rock Hill down towards Columbia, into the western Midlands of South Carolina, going into the low country of South Carolina as well, at least the western part, just to the west of Dorchester and Charleston County right now. If we go into the future, let's go on and push this forward right here. Okay, there we go right there. You see that overall that cloud cover will pretty much expand as we go through tonight, and a lot more areas will be covered with cloud cover. This is tomorrow morning right here. Again, most areas will be covered by cloud cover, maybe except for the coastal regions, but that cloud cover will slowly make its way just towards like the upstate of South Carolina, and overall it's going to clear out as the day progresses as we go into tomorrow. If we go into our current temperatures right now, 82 in Orangeburg as well as 86 in Columbia, 82 in St. Matthews as well as 80 in Holly Hill, 82 in Charleston and Summerville as well as Moncks Corner, Ondaw, Beaufort, Ridgeland, Hampton, Walterboro, all these places 82. Myrtle Beach 82, North Myrtle Beach 82, 80 inside of Conway as well as 80 in Loris. We also do have 82 in Kingstree and Lake City. We also have 79 in Greenwood, 77 in Greenville as well as Clemson, 80 in Spartanburg, 82 in Gaffney as well. Going into your low temperatures for tonight, low temperature is 76 for Greenville, 76 for Spartanburg, as well as 76 for Rock Hill, 77 in Columbia, as well as 75 in Orangeburg, 75 in Walterboro, as well as 78 in Charleston, 77 in Hilton Head Island, as well as 75 in Georgetown, 78 in Myrtle Beach, and 77 in Florence as well. In terms of your rainfall, obviously, we do have some areas that will most likely receive rainfall as we go through the next 24 hours. So 9 p.m. tonight, going into 8 p.m. tomorrow, 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch for places like Rock Hill, going into Orangeburg, Barnwell, Charleston, as well as Georgetown, as well. Then 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch for like Chirag, going into Myrtle Beach, going into Walterboro as well, and then other places like Lawrence and Anderson. Spartanburg also included in there, and then a quarter of an inch to a half an inch for places like Greenville, going into Newbury, and also Kingstree and Moncks Corner. And then finally a half an inch to an inch for places like Sumter and Greenwood, maybe even an inch to an inch and a half in some places as well as we move through tonight into tomorrow night. Now, severe weather. As we go through tonight, this is the new updated one that I'm about to load up right here. You see that there still is a thunderstorm risk for places like Spartanburg, Rock Hill, Florence, and Myrtle Beach, but everyone else, Columbia, Greenville, Aiken, Charleston, pretty much the entire low country, the western Midlands, pretty much most of the Midlands, and good amount of the upstate as well, no longer has a threat for any sort of thunderstorms or anything like that. But that's for tonight. If we go on and move into tomorrow, this is more of a concerning situation as we move through tomorrow. Slight risk of severe weather is pretty much expected for the entire state of South Carolina. Slight risk is in effect for the entire state of South Carolina, except for the coastal regions. Myrtle Beach, Charleston, and Hilton Head Island are still under a marginal risk of severe weather. And you might be thinking, well, why in the world is it that we have a slight risk of severe weather for tomorrow? This kind of just sprung out of nowhere because I believe last night it was only a marginal risk. And now it's a full-on slight risk that has only been expanding. So I would not be surprised if tomorrow they brought it all the way down towards the coastal regions. But it's mainly a wind threat. If you're inside the yellow, you have a 15% chance of receiving damaging winds, 60 miles per hour, maybe even up to 70 miles per hour tomorrow. And then if you're inside the green, you have a 5% chance of receiving damaging winds, 40 to 60 mile per hour winds are probably your best bet. And then everyone has a chance for some hail tomorrow. Again, small hail to maybe some isolated large hail up to around an inch in diameter. That is all possible tomorrow. And if you have the opportunity to go get any pictures or videos or anything like that for any storm that passes you, make sure that you go on and send them to me at scweather360@gmail.com. And then even as we go into Thursday, which we talked about this again last night, Thursday we had a chance for some severe weather, called it out, put a marginal risk out for South Carolina, and mainly, again, probably another damaging wind and hail threat as we go into the next 2 days or so. Let's go on now and look into our excessive rainfall outlook. So as you start off, there is indeed nothing for tonight, tomorrow. Even as we go all the way through Saturday, there is no excessive rainfall that is expected for our area, so we are good in terms of excessive rainfall. If we go on now, let's go on and look at our models for the future. So here we go, starting off here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. You can see that we do have this rainfall activity just to our north and west. But again, nothing really for South Carolina. And honestly, I don't really think there's going to be much of a thunderstorm risk at all for tonight. If we continue this even further, here is our severe weather that we're looking for at starting off at around 3 to 4 p.m. tomorrow is when we're finally starting to see some rain, some downpours, storms, all of that move in. And then it just turns into just scattered to widespread showers and thunderstorms going to around 6 to 7 p.m. And then it starts to kind of cluster up. And overall, we're seeing a lot of rain throughout the state from 8 to 9 p.m. And then once you get to around 12 o'clock in the morning, things really start to calm down. But I mean, there is still just rainfall throughout. Finally, we probably will be done with rainfall by around 9 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. But obviously, severe weather is also possible on Thursday as well, so we have another round of that coming right back. But this is for 2 p.m. right here on Thursday. You can see not really much going on there. If we go to our future, so even past that, I do want to go on real quick, actually, before we do that, go on and check what Thursday could look like. You can see that those storms will probably move down from our west, and it will move through the upstate first, going through to around 5, 6 p.m., and then it will try to make its way, but honestly, the NAM has it just kind of just ending once it gets to around the Midlands of South Carolina, and then kind of just cut off. So right now, I don't really see too much of a threat. Again, it's only a marginal risk, and it's low, and it's still like 60 hours out or so, maybe even a bit closer than that, but it's still, 50 to 60 hours out, and it's only a low threat right now. So it's expected pretty much to look like this. But as you continue, you can see the rainfall, and then overall, like I said, just active weather continues. Not really too much in terms of like big storm systems. It just looks like a lot of just rainfall and thunderstorm activity as we move through the next 300 to 400 hours or so. So again, same old weather for South Carolina as just we move through the next 300 to 400 hours. I do want to go on now real quick and just look at our tropics. Obviously, I don't know if you guys have heard the news today, but we have our first named storm of the season, that being Tropical Storm Andrea. As we go up here, it's pretty much going to fade out by tonight, but you can see that it is expected to become a tropical depression by around 2 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, which is a couple hours from now at this point. And that's going to continue going towards the north and east. No threat for South Carolina at all. But just, we can just cross off Andrea off the list in terms of names and get one more name closer, which I'm pretty sure the next name, that would be the B name, tropical storm names for 2024, which I really need to have this memorized by now, is, that's not it, oh, I put 2024. 2025, it's Barry. Barry is the next name for the hurricane season now, since Andrea is pretty much going to be pretty much up out of here. Now let's go on and look at the crazy score. We're at a 47 for tonight inside the moderate category. Noticeable weather conditions such as moderate rain, wind, or minor storms, but honestly, I don't really think that's too much of the issue of why we have this 47. I think it's mainly because of the heat. Again, there's going to be no relief from the heat at all. Obviously, places are still inside of the 80s right now as we still speak, and it's like past 9 o'clock, about to hit 9:20 around there. So the fact that it is still this hot, this late, definitely still means that it's not really going to have much relief at all. And it still feels like around 90 degrees out there right now. So that's it in terms of our crazy score. I do want to look at one thing real quick, and that is something that I found that was unfortunate but turned good at the same time. This was from the National Weather Service at Columbia. I'm going to go and show you right now. It says, South Carolina Emergency Management reports 18 people, 6 adults and 12 children struck by lightning at Lake Murray Public Park in Lexington, South Carolina. So I believe it actually was 20. But 18 of them were brought to the hospital, and 2 of them actually did not have to go to the hospital. And actually, it was non-life-threatening injuries, so all of them are actually expected to make a recovery. But we talk about lightning strikes. We talk about how that is definitely a dangerous factor in terms of thunderstorm. Like I say, do not be outside. Do not be near windows or anything like that during a thunderstorm, for sure. Because obviously we don't want anybody going to the hospital with life-threatening injuries or anything like that. Luckily for these people, though, all 20 of them, um, all of their injuries were non-life threatening, and they're all expected to survive. So that's a good thing right there. But that's it in terms of that. I just wanted to say that real quick. That was around like 4:43 p.m. I believe somewhere around 4:43. That was only preliminary for right now. Let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Mr. Oliver says, good evening. Another hot day with a very brief shower at my house, hoping for some relief soon. In terms of relief, again, probably not. I mean, definitely today was definitely the hottest day of the week for sure. But yeah, I don't really think it's going to get too much cooler than that. I will talk about we'll probably talk about tomorrow when we're probably going to receive some relief from these storms or from these heat, I guess you could say heat and storms. I guess we could do both. And we'll do that tomorrow. Mr. Anthony says, good evening, weatherman. Good evening to you. My name says, hello, Jay. Thank you. No problem for the link. Cheryl says, greetings, everyone. Greetings to you. And then my cousin Cheryl says, hello, everyone. Or hello, weatherman. How is everyone? I know you're doing your very best to bring the weather. I'm in the hospital with my husband. Just keep us in your prayers. I love y'all. Thank you so much for that comment. As well as prayers are going your way for your husband as well. Hopefully you can make a recovery. Dad says, good evening, Joseph. I trust all is well. My apologies for last night. My phone died. That's all good. Obviously there's some stuff that we just, may forget about sometimes. So, but overall, that's it. So, hopefully, all minds are clear in terms of the chat for right now. Again, you can still leave chats. You can still leave, text and all that kind of stuff inside of the chat if you want to. But we're going to first start off and talk about our 3 locations outside of South Carolina, that being San Antonio, Raleigh, and Philadelphia as well. So first off, we're going to talk about San Antonio first. Low temperatures tonight, 74. High temperatures tomorrow at 92. And low temperatures tomorrow night at 75. There is no precipitation that is expected tonight. Slight chance of thunderstorms tomorrow. But no precipitation expected tomorrow night either. So, in terms of severe weather, there is no severe weather that is expected for San Antonio, pretty much as you go through the next 8 days or so. If you go into excessive rainfall, though, again, no excessive rainfall is expected. Raleigh being the next location. Low temperatures tonight, 78. High temperatures tomorrow at 101. Low temperatures tomorrow night at 73. No precipitation is expected tonight, but a slight chance of thunderstorms tomorrow and a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow night as well. In terms of excessive rainfall first, no excessive rainfall is expected, but tomorrow you do have a chance for some severe weather. Same thing for South Carolina, 15% risk of receiving some damaging winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour, and a 5% chance of receiving some isolated large hail. Also Thursday, you also are under a marginal risk for some severe weather, so a 5% chance of some severe weather on Thursday. And then Philadelphia being the last one. Low temperatures tonight, 80. High temperatures tomorrow at 98. And low temperatures tomorrow night at 77. No precipitation tonight, but a chance of showers tomorrow during the day. And tomorrow night, a chance of thunderstorms as well. And speaking of, you do have a marginal risk of severe weather for tomorrow. That is for wind gusts 40 to 60 miles per hour as you go into tomorrow. And that also is associated pretty much with the same storm system that's going to be moving through South Carolina, North Carolina as well. And excessive rainfall being the last one, I believe you do have a chance for some excessive rainfall tomorrow and Thursday as well. So some minor flooding is possible tomorrow and Thursday. What's going on throughout the entire U.S.? In terms of just weather news-wise, extremely dangerous heat persists through Thursday with widespread daily temperature records. Monsoonal moisture continues to bring heavy rain and flash flooding to New Mexico and western Texas through Thursday, especially in the burn scar areas. Thunderstorms and heavy to excessive rainfall will continue to bring flash flooding threat from central plains into the upper Midwest as well. So overall, just like I said, flooding, severe weather, also continuing in eastern Colorado as well as some places inside of Nebraska as well. And then obviously the heat that's going on now in the east as well. And so I believe that that is all that I have to say for tonight. I do want to go on real quick and say if you have not, again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, make sure you do so. Thank you to whoever that was that just hit the subscribe button as well. We're at 503 now, 97 more to go until we get to our goal of 600 subscribers. Let's just go in and give a round of applause real quick. All right, that is it for tonight. Let me check the chat one more time. Curtis says, good evening, all is well here in Florence, South Carolina. That is great to hear. Thank you so much for the update up there in Florence. And I believe that is it. So, I will be back tomorrow morning with your Wednesday morning forecast update for the state of South Carolina. If you have to leave another comment as well, you can. I'll be here for about like another 5 minutes or so to go on and check it out. And I will be back. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday.